Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. Barack Obama, President of the United States of America. Barack Obama wants to change America for the better. And in this quote, he's saying that America already has the method to change. It just needs everyone to realise that and work together to achieve this change it so desperately wants. Change is only one word. It takes under a second to say. However, if change is broken down into everything it means, and everything it ever can mean, you would be speaking forever. Change is a process that is determined by no one and no thing. It happens to anyone, anywhere, and at any time. Change can occur in a variety of ways. It can be monumental or minuscule. Change can be physical, mental, or even environmental. Change can be as insignificant as someone changing an outfit, or can be as large as someone moving away from home and starting a new life in the unknown. Many people are afraid of change and try to avoid it. However, change is inevitable and it will happen whether you like it or not. Tamil, which is a small town on the south coast of Australia, near the popular beaches of Bawley Point, has changed a lot over the last few hundred years. It has changed environmentally and physically, and the residents have changed both physically and mentally. Three of the largest changes, or largest events that have contributed to the change of Tamil over these few hundred years are the sawmills acquiring new technology, the sawmill burning down, and the gantry getting destroyed. All of these events changed Tamil in different ways, some more than others, some in more horrific ways than others, but by the end of this speech you will understand and know why these changes have made Tamil one of the most historically significant towns on the south coast of Eastern Australia. Historically, Tamil is known for its timber and its sawmills that shape wood into perfect, smooth planks by only bare hands. Only 70 years ago, loggers in Tamil were cutting down the local red cedar trees with axes and saws, and then spending hours of pure dedication and perseverance to cut and shape the timber into pristine planks, ready to be shipped off to different parts of Australia and to be used in the best of constructions. Loggers would spend hours a day, with blood, sweat and tears, cutting down the red cedar trees and shaping the logs at the sawmill. However, this all changed when chainsaws were introduced to Tamil around 1950. Laurie Baxter, a local at Tamil, describes how chainsaws have changed from since they were first introduced. He said that his first chainsaw weighed about 12 kilograms and was extremely difficult to use. However, it was still much better than spending hours upon hours cutting down these enormous red cedars. Today, very efficient and cheap chainsaws can weigh under 5 kilograms. Laurie says that he loves using a chainsaw and loves how great and useful they are today. The introduction of chainsaws made life so much easier for the loggers around Tamil. Chainsaws saved so much of the loggers' time, and the introduction of chainsaws was definitely a positive change for Tamil. Chainsaws also increased the amount of logs and planks that Tamil could ship off to the rest of Australia, and as a result, most likely increased the amount of money that the residents had. On Friday, the 29th of April, 1922, 30 workers' lives were changed for the worse because they were out of a job as a result of the Bawley Point sawmill burning down. This mill was owned by Messrs A. Ltd. When the mill was burned down, it only just started being operational again after its long break during the Easter holidays. The fire was discovered at 3 a.m. by Mr. Robert Allen, the son of the manager of the sawmill, who was away in Sydney for business. When the disaster at the mill was discovered, the fire was well alight, so practically nothing was saved. After the mill was burned down in 1922, most of the workers moved away, but some local families, known for their logging, stayed. The few that stayed stacked and tallied timber cut at Flat Rock Mill, which was then brought to Bawley Point for shipping. The lives of the Bawley Point sawmill workers were changed forever. They were out of a job, and most of them had to move away with their family and possessions to try and find work in another town. The fire at the sawmill, which causes unknown, changed the lives of many people in Tamil region for the worse, and caused them to undergo massive change in their lives. My grandma always said, the two most stressful things in your life are the day you get married and the day you move. However, the workers had to deal with this stressful change, and many did find jobs and carry on their tough lives among the trees in the bush. Finally, possibly one of the largest changes around Tamil over the last few hundred years has been the Bawley Point gantry. The gantry, which is historically known for its loading of red cedar trees onto ships, represented a lot of people around Tamil. They grew up with the gantry, and many of them were emotionally attached to it. They saw a change from a lumber loading dock into a tourist attraction and diving and fishing spot, and then finally, on June the 4th and 5th, 2016, they saw their beloved gantry crumble in a horrific thunderstorm that struck all of New South Wales. The gantry getting destroyed erased a very important part of Borley Point's history. Many people were shocked at first, and others tried to retrieve the pieces of the gantry for themselves, to have that history lying in front of their garden. However, a lot of people were determined to get the gantry rebuilt. But not only that, many wanted the gantry to become an even larger tourist attraction and have signposts all around the surrounding bush, so when the tourists do visit Borley Point, they take a minute to appreciate the history of the gantry and the town it lies in, and understand all of Tamil's change and hardship through its buildings, environment, and residents over the last few hundred years. Fortunately, those people's dreams came true. Terry Snow, an extremely wealthy man and owner of Canberra Airport, saw the many articles throughout the newspapers and the heartbreaking stories of people's experience of the gantry on his Facebook page. Fortunately for Borley Point and Tamil, Terry Snow agreed to fund the rebuilding of the gantry. Tamil and Borley Point really are wonderful places. The buildings, monuments, and environment, and most importantly the residents, are absolutely incredible. Many of the local Tamil families whose residents lived in Tamil hundreds of years ago should feel very proud of how far their little town has come. From what used to be a small, poor little village, cutting, sawing and loading timber, to what then became a very popular tourist attraction is absolutely phenomenal. We owe this to Tamil's past and present residents, whether they were white or black. These residents laid out the foundation for what is now one of the most historical areas in the south coast of Australia. It is these changes which have changed me. I didn't used to think Tamil was that amazing, but after studying this fascinating topic, I feel that I've changed for the better. And whenever I pass Tamil for the rest of my life, I will think and remember how hard people worked to change it from that poor village to a historical little town with wonderful buildings, monuments and residents. I will remember the change in Tamil.